for another episode of Hip Hop Beats and Things. I am your host, K Hill, and today we have an artist after the type of artist that's after my own heart. And when I say that, I mean an artist that's not one-dimensional. Like the artist that we have today, that we're featuring today, he's an MC. He's a hell of a DJ. I didn't even know that until I did like a little digging and whatnot. We can get into that. And he's an extremely dope producer. I like to give a crazy shout out and introduction to my man Yamin Semali. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yamin.
Yes,
sir. Yeah, Yamin. Yep.
Like Yamin.
Yeah, that's
Right. Okay. Yamin Semali, and that means left. Right, is that correct?
Left.
Right, left.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Yamin, we're in Carolina right now. You happen to have Carolina roots.
That's right.
But that's not where I know you from.
No.
I know you from the South. I know you from Atlanta.
That's crazy to say the South, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I ain't heard it like that.
Nah, hip hop lives there, man. Like it definitely grew up there. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's real. It's
expanded.
It's in good pockets. Things that don't even exist now are what kind of raised me on hip hop in the South. Like,
right.
I'm glad I was there when I was there for that, for sure. You know what I mean?
And we talked a little earlier. You've been in Atlanta for
I'm about to age myself. Like,
it's all good.
Over 30 years.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
So you've seen the Dungeon Family, the Little John, all the way up to the
Snap Music, and
all the way up to Quality Control.
Yep, Little Baby, the new, all that.
Yeah, you seen it. You seen it from the bottom to the top.
Straight up.
Very fortunate. Very fortunate. So now you're back in the area, but you're familiar with the area. Even though you left at an early age, you've been kind of back and forth throughout the years.
No doubt. I was born at Rex, you know what I mean? And a lot of my family's still here. The majority, even the ones, it's the majority now. All my New York family came here too.
Right.
As they got older, more, easier, probably better to raise a family, you know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
That's where, between Fuquay and Wake Forest.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like, that's a lot of land, you know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah, and Warrenton.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget Warrenton.
Yeah.
Halifax.
Well, shout out to Warrenton. Wow, man. I just found out about Warrenton this year, and I've been living here my entire life.
Yeah, so it's a rich history, man. Like, the Native American population there, Negro Native population was crazy there. The Saponi tribe. My great-grandmother was a superintendent of Warren County Schools.
Wow.
I still got their hardware. I posted this on Instagram the other day. Their diplomas, my great-grandma's diploma, her son's diploma from Durham College for Negroes, which became Central.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got the one to say Negroes on it, like back in the day, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, we
That's
definitely
dope.
we got real
dope.
roots here, man. And it feels like I'm here. Like, it's like a real return for me. It's changed everything, how I feel,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I try to do with my interviews, I try to be as authentic as possible.
For sure.
I give the real backstory of, what I know. I first met you and first heard of you when you came to Greensboro, North Carolina.
Shiners is the name of the spot?
Shiners?
I think that was the name of the venue.
Oh, yeah, the name of the venue in Greensboro.
7. You
came through with Bug Brown.
Yep.
I'm familiar with Bug Brown. At the time, I wasn't familiar with you.
Word.
But that's cool.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because you probably wasn't familiar with me neither. But yo, man, once I seen you get on that stage, like, your stage show is different from a lot of other MC stage shows.
Sure.
Like, you'll get up there, man, and I think I seen you cutting for yourself that night.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, every night.
And it's like you're like what I like to call a live MC. And when I say live MC, I mean like you're not monotone, like you animated, man, and you like really get into it.
I appreciate that, man. That's definitely. I be forgetting what happened when I get off stage. I'm like, ooh, it's just like the spirit came up. I don't even know.
No. It's always an out of body experience, man. And I love those type of MCs, man. Like that's the era that I'm from. That's an era that I hope never dies. It never will die.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because as long as you rhyme, long as your passion, comes out and whatnot, it's always going to be a group of people that's going to appreciate that right there.
Indeed.
Because it's not your everyday run of the mill. When you was on stage at night, I was like, man, wow, he reminds me of somebody, man, but I just cannot put my finger on it. I cannot put my finger on it. Your presence, though, is like a Black Star presence.
Oh, word.
For those not familiar with Black Star, and you got to be familiar with them because you're watching this show right now. But if you're not familiar, Black Star is Mos Def, Talib Kweli. You know, for the younger heads, you know, the two cats that's rapping with West Side Gun, you know, on the. But you got that, you know, it seemed like you got that same presence and aura with you. And when you MC, it's that same kind of vibe. And I love that, you know.
Yeah.
But that night I was like, man, he reminds me of somebody I know. You know. And it just so happened that one of my fellow NC MCs was in the building that night named Lazarus.
Mm-hmm.
Lazarus is from.
I'm pretty sure he performed that night.
He did rock that night. He was in the building.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So everything came together. I'm like, wow, these guys know each other. Wait a minute, man. They got something bubbling.
Lazarus, man.
I'm like, yo, don't tell me it's a whole conglomerate of MCs like this. I'm scared. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's dope.
That dude she's scary, bro.
Nah,
like,
he's fire, man.
Yeah.
He's fire. He's been one of our top MCs in the area for years, man.
Indeed.
But he's out of this world.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
And you guys are like kindred spirits, man. Like for real.
Yeah, it's wild how that even. I mean, I met him in Atlanta.
Right.
Met him at A3C.
Right.
In his record store, I used to sell stuff out of called Moods.
Okay.
I remember sister in there was showing me. I was going in there kind of trying to sell my merch in there.
Right.
So I was like kind of like engaging people as they was coming in, like, you know, some Atlanta stuff, you know, talking about whatever credentials I had at the time.
Right.
Whatever kind of press I had. Yeah, you check me out. I'm in this magazine. It's my album. And I ran into Laz, man. He was talking about Lazar Soul Records, which was a label he started with his boy Arsonist.
Yep.
And he was just putting on very nice, shaking hands, you know, just I had a feeling he was from Carolina, and I didn't know why.
It's always something that kind of it's something that we take with us anywhere we go that kind of lets you know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying,
dog? And I had so many CDs from people that whole weekend.
Right.
I kept his on the top of the stack. I was just like, when I get home or whatever, I'm playing this first. And then when I put that joint on, boy, that Alienation, check it out. If you don't know about Alienation on Lazarus Bandcamp, kinglaz.bandcamp.com. Please, it's over 10 years old now, and I'm still floored by some of them. Every song, all the bars, he's just amazing. But anyway, around that same time, he started doing remixes for that project because all the beats was like industry
beats. Yeah. But he made them his.
Bro. He made them. I'm talking about Exhibit A.
Right?
Started off with that. And, man. But he was wanting to do remixes, so I did a remix to Go Off. And he was like, yo. And he took it. That's when he was like, okay, this guy's, he does his thing. Because otherwise, I would have been sending him links to something. But for me to remix his joint, it just hit him a different way. And we just kept in touch since then.
Now, when you say remix, you mean from a producer standpoint?
Yeah, I made a new beat for Go Off. I don't remember where the original came from. I don't even think he knows. You know what I'm saying? He was just getting good beats from wherever. And I just made a new beat for it because he was planning on doing it with all original production. Okay. And he still should, man. I think so. I don't care how old it is. But I gave him that. The remix project didn't end up coming out. Mm-hmm. But we just kept in touch. And, we did a couple features for each other here and there, a couple mixtapes. People hit me up for a mixtape. I'd be like, let me holler at, you know what I'm saying, Laz. Mm-hmm. We did a feature together on this Star Wars featured mixtape by DJ Chong Wizard out of Toronto, I think. I don't want to get his city wrong. He's in Canada, I'm pretty sure, though. But Razkaz was hosting it. Wow. And I did a couple things for Chong over the years. I did another joint that Pete Rock was hosting. I did a ODB Got Your Money remix. So he would hit me up for joints, you know what I mean? But this time I was rapping. Got him on there. We actually said Black Star. We rhymed over Know That off of Moses' album.
So I was on
on it.
I was on the right path.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, yeah, man.
So look, a couple of your name, like you've been in some good situations. And you've been around some good company over the years. Sure. I'm going strictly off what I know. Okay. This is no research at all. This is what I know.
I'm interested to hear some
okay,
stuff.
And tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
Was there ever a point where you was running like or a part of an academy that taught people how to scratch and cut?
Oh, I worked for the Scratch Academy out of New York.
You worked for the Scratch Academy?
Yeah, I was under, in the Atlanta chapter, it was DJ Precise. Okay. DMC champ. DJ JC, who was also a champ. Ludacris's DJ. He's just a beast. DJ JC. If you don't know about JC, Jaycee. He was there. So many folks was coming in and out of there. DJ Jelly, who's like super important for Atlanta hip hop with Big Oomp. Like independent record stores, just good people that I looked up to, and I ended up being like their coworker. You know what I mean? And it helped me develop my skills. Like I was always pretty good at scratching and blending, but when I started working under Johnny Precise, he's showing me juggling stuff. So that just upped my show game a lot. And teaching kids during the summer, we had summer camps where we start them off with vinyl and go up to the digital. Unfortunately, they closed their chapter in Atlanta. I'm not really sure. I think they had one in Chicago, New York, Miami.
They closed the chapter in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So this had to be like maybe 2 years ago, something like not too long ago.
It was let's see,
because I actually remember it being open when I went to an A3C one year.
It was 2016, 17.
2016, 17.
It was open before that.
Right.
They moved to a different building around the time I got hired.
Okay.
We used to be in the SAE Institute building downtown.
Right. That's what I remember.
Remember that?
Yes.
That's where I met really JC. But then we moved around the time. I got on, helped them pack everything. We ended up in Kirkwood, which is like on the east side.
Okay.
And we had a little building to ourselves next to the police station and the church. So it's kind of like safe. You know what I'm saying? Like not a lot going on. And yeah, man. Eventually, I don't know, something on the business side I can't speak to. Ended up closing the doors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But thankfully, around that time, what did I end up doing instead? We still was getting contracts to do private teaching and stuff like that elsewhere. So the building closed, but the brand still was around, so we still did that.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Like, just like yourself, I can MC, I DJ, and, I make beats. But when you call yourself a DJ, right, it's different size of being a DJ. Either you're a selector,
right,
meaning you know how to choose, the right jams to play to set the vibe, or you're something like a turntablist.
Right. Yeah.
I consider you a turntablist.
I hear that.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm going off of.
Okay.
I'm going somewhere with this, right. And please tell me if I'm right or wrong. Like right. I'm going like straight off the brain right now. What I think I know or what I know. So rock with me, correct me.
All right, no doubt. No problem.
The first time I heard some of your cut work, I got a homegirl in North Carolina, from North Carolina, named Lena Jackson.
Yeah.
She got a joint called with my man Precise, Siberia, right?
Yep.
I heard a cut work on that, and I'm like, yo.
Shout out to them, man. Yeah.
Like, yo, who's doing the cuts on this, man? Who is doing the cuts on this? I never asked her. But I found out later on that you was the one that actually did the cut work on that.
Word.
And I'm like, man, this guy's amazing, man. Like,
shout out to my boy Mighty Mo for hooking that up. That was like a Facebook thing.
Okay, word.
She put the word out, like, I need some cuts, and then my boy tagged me.
Okay.
And then we just worked it out somehow.
Nah, bro, you got crazy on that joint.
I'm gonna play that when we get out of here.
I'm about to say, look, put a link of that of Siberia in the description, so they can check the reference point of what I'm talking about, because he went crazy on that joint, like for real.
Yeah, I love using phrases, man. Whenever I can cut somebody's phrase up,
right,
and just whatever, man, it's fun when you're not dealing with just like one sound, but you're dealing with a sentence,
right?
You kind of chop it up how you want. I mean, that's like all from the school of Premiere, basically.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? But you put your little own flair on it, because like I used to buy the VHS tapes for like the DJ, like Scratch Pickles and like the DMC championships.
Yeah.
And, like I used to buy them out of the little skate shops in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Just to have my entertainment. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no internet like that when I started. You know what I'm saying? So we was really just going out getting the media how we could. And I, at a point, I was like, do I want to do all these tricks? Do I want to be that guy? Do I want to make beats? I kind of had to ration out my energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can't even say it. I've always struggled with that, man. To have a healthy balance, because people, they'll like you in a situation and will try to keep you in that situation.
Let me tell you about that, bro. Like, so to answer your question, leading into me being whatever kind of DJ I am, when you say getting stuck in that position in Atlanta, it was a blessing and a curse. People would ask me to perform at a gig, and I'm like, word, I want to rap.
Right. But
you know what they're going to ask you? Right. Can you DJ it too? I'm like, are you paying me twice? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like...
Or they try the two birds from one stone.
But they ask you to rap first.
They ask you to rap first, so they want you to DJ the entire event.
So they know you free.
Been there.
They know you're going to be even there.
Right. Been there.
Yeah, I'd be like, at a point I got used to it. I try to leverage it. And it kind of, for better or worse, it worked out. So you look at me as like a turntablist, and that's love. Promoters was looking at me like a selector. You know, people look at you for what the situation calls. You know what I'm saying? And I never was mad at that. But sometimes I'd be like, bro, when am I always going to come off as this DJ, as like a utility for somebody, like. But then you want to stay employed. You want to get your bread.
Yeah,
when I was younger, I ain't had no real job. I was really independent artist for like 3 or 4 years with no job.
Right.
And I include that time in Scratch Academy because it wasn't like I was like salary. It wasn't like I was always there. Pop in, pop out. I kick it there longer to practice. It wasn't like a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't got no job. I'm basically what do you call it? 1099? I don't even remember what the. It's like that.
I know what you're talking about. You definitely in the ballpark.
Right.
I can't give you the correct
coding for it too, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I ain't gonna snitch on myself.
No, please don't, yo. It's the wrong time, dog. Yeah, man. I don't want to like fly through this or whatever. Like I do want to hit some key points, but like I said, I'm going straight off the brain. So we definitely gonna go back to the MCing part because there's some things that I want to know, and I'm sure that the audience wants to know. I want to go straight into you as a producer right now.
Awesome. Yeah.
We took a trip to me and my man Precise. We just took a trip to Manhattan.
Word.
And I threw on your instrumental, your latest instrumental project.
Oh, the fish joint. The Supreme.
Let me tell you something, man. Seriously, this guy is an incredible producer. Like I had no dude. Like you got a lot of joints on that project.
I appreciate
that. I'm surprised even made that project.
Yeah, that's a conversation.
I'm surprised,
man. Conversation, man.
I'm like, he didn't shop these to anybody or use these himself.
There's like a meme I saw recently. It was like a sad guy. that meme where they dude in the bus looking at the cliff, the rocks, and the other dude looking out the window.
Yeah,
So the guy looking at the rocks was like trying to get placements for 50 years or whatever, and the happy guy was like just putting out beat tapes and then people enjoying your music and then you getting placements. So it was kind of like. It's better, like me and Laz was talking about this earlier today. People just gotta see it in action without them.
Right.
Then they'll get the confidence to be like, okay, I'll rock with you. But I've given people mad beats, bro. I mean, from household names to people I just like.
Been there, done that.
And they be like, yeah, I love this beat. And then you just never hear from them. Yeah. For whatever reason it is. But let me mess around and get a Grammy somewhere and then they're going to be, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Just... I've known certain artists for years, and like respected artists out here. No names I gotta say,
right?
But they know who I am.
Yep.
But until I dropped that, it was weird. Now it's like,
look, check this out, bro. You could throw me in that same pot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I knew who you were. I respected you and what you did.
100.
You know what I'm saying? Respected you as an MC, like super respect. I'm like, yo, this guy gets busy.
Straight.
You know what I'm saying? But when you in the circuit, when you in the Chitlin circuit and meet so many people, like you know how it gets.
Even a little competition here and there. I'm not tripping.
Right.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? And it keep people sharp. And as long as everybody, like you said, respect each other, it's all good. I've never been disrespected like that.
Right.
But I've been kind of like, we'll see how he does. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the attitude,
real. That's so real. Yeah, but
also the fact that it was on my man's label.
Okay.
It changed the perception of
the beat tape.
Yeah, it's on my man's. It's on Full Plate, which is ran by my boy Dylan. He's from Duval. That's where his origins. But he's like been in Atlanta for 15 maybe years. 20.
Was he ever a marketing company?
Nah.
Never did PR or anything like that.
Well, he does PR for like. I think he does stuff for restaurants or something like. He does social media for like restaurant groups.
I've heard of the Full Plate.
He's a foodie, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He does. He's big in food too.
Yeah, some dope restaurants in Atlanta too. Good gracious, man.
I'm still learning about y'all's out here.
Yeah, man. I don't think we could top. I mean, we in the fight, bro. But Atlanta got some great joints.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. But when I heard that beat tape, man, I was like, yo.
I appreciate that, man.
Like seriously.
I was to say about me not rhyming on them.
Right.
A couple I did, but
I'm sure.
They're good songs too. I just lately, since my last project in 2020 as an MC, those weren't my beats. That was my man Schizo, 00 Schizo.
I was gonna touch on him.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's do that.
I met Schizo. Man, it feels good to be able to kind of, you know what I'm saying, lock in with you on how much I know and from what reference point I know it from.
I met
Schizo.
Yeah.
in Fairfax, Virginia.
Okay, he was at
I did an event up there called.
Is that the Epicure? No, I'm tripping. That's not.
I was at the
That's where it was
Epicure.
at?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was
That's
Brian?
Brian. My
Yeah.
man Brian. Shout out to my man Brian,
Hill, man.
Brian Hill.
Yes, sir.
No kin to K Hill. You know what I'm saying? But that's definitely one of my brothers. Shout out to him for bringing me to Fairfax.
Yeah.
And the night he brought me, it was like a beat makers event or whatever.
Was Russell there? Russell with a G. Like,
gosh, man, that name sounds so familiar. I'm not sure. He might have been there that night, but it was some dope cats in the building. My man from Odyssey's group.
Oh, YU was there.
YU was there, man. Dude,
YU, man.
I was such a big fan of that group, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Diamond District.
Yeah, man, like Diamond District, so dope. Seeing him, so I knew who YU was, like right off gate.
Mm-hmm.
The other cats, I was getting along.
Yeah.
Double O, man. I knew Double O from seeing his name attached to some of Lazarus stuff.
That was me. I made that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm glad. Yeah.
You're the link in between, right?
That's I'm just happy to hear that.
Okay. So I'm familiar with Double O's production, which kind of y'all got similar production,
dude. Laz, Schizo, and like I'm right in the middle somehow. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how. That's real.
Yo, that's a deadly combination, man.
I low key feel like they both better than me at those particular things,
bro.
But but
we said those particular things like
MCing
those from Laz.
And let me tell you, Laz makes some really crazy beats, bro.
No. I think the last time I talked to Laz, he was just like really getting into production.
Mm-hmm. I remember around that time, I think Drugs was kind of like giving him a little mentorship or something.
So Drugs from Atlanta.
From Atlanta, yeah. And he's from here. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I know Drugs. Yeah.
Everybody should know who Drugs is.
I was about to say,
we battled a couple times.
I was about to say, Drugs the beat battle king around here. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody be playing their joints, man. It'd be a good vibe, you know what I'm saying? Everybody happy-go-lucky. Then he come in with his monster beats, man.
Yeah, dog.
and just shut everything down, man. But I first heard of Drugs in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah.
I know he's been doing his thing down there for years.
A long time.
So that makes y'all connection makes sense too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gets smaller, man. Like the cream rise, you know what I'm saying? As my uncle say, man. And it's like we keep running into each other. Me and Drugs, we've had like a healthy
competition.
Yeah, going for a while.
He'll do that to you.
Yeah, it's mostly on him, but I'm
he'll
like,
do
okay.
That to you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He'll do that to you, bro. Like for real. One thing about Drugs though, man, is he's a strong beat maker that gives it up to other dope beat makers. Even if the beat maker ain't as strong as him, he still has the ability to appreciate good music for what it is, no matter, you know what I'm saying, who it came from.
That's real.
That's one thing that I really, appreciate about him.
Right.
I seen him give it up to some cats that like really can't hold a torch to him. Cats was still dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But his ego won't so off the chain that, but they ain't better than me. You know what I'm saying? He's not like that. He's like, they dope too.
Yeah.
And he'll tell other people, hey, they dope too.
Oh yeah.
You know
Every time I drop something, he posted up. You know what I'm saying? Even back then when we was battling, if I dropped something, he posted up. But when it's game time, it's game time.
Yeah, when it's game time, it's like
win, you know what I'm saying?
Always compared to the cartoon of the coyote and the sheepdog. When they come to work, hey, good morning, Ralph. What's good, fam? And then when the bell go off, it's like I'm dropping pianos on your head. I'm hitting you with Acme Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? I'm running you over with cars. And then when the bell rings, all right, man, have a nice day, man. See you tomorrow. That's how the rap game is, though. That's how it's supposed to be. If you got good sportsmanship.
That's real.
That cartoon right there, man, can teach you a lot about life. Man.
I remember that.
For real. Anything else you want to touch on as far as production? Do you have any key projects that you worked on as a producer that was like highlights for you?
I haven't really gotten to sink my teeth into other artists the way I would want to.
Okay.
That's something that has yet to really develop. I've done a lot of one-offs and remixes for people, and for whatever reason, it hasn't turned into a thing where I can say I produced this all the way. I don't know why. It's just maybe not the right time or whatever.
So with that said right there, are you still interested in that side of things?
Yeah. Because even like the first beat tape I put out in like 2011, I think. It's on my Bandcamp. It's called Yen Dollar Music Volume 1, Yamin Instrumentals.
Okay.
that was a result of people kind of just sleeping on my beats that they already had. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm gonna just drop this, right? It was cool. It did pretty well. I ended up on Producers I Know through Dart Adams.
Producers I Know.
That was like a blog thing back in.
OK Player?
Nah,
there's a link to OK Player from that.
It might have been
the guy that does the artwork for it. Come from the OK Player because he's the same guy that did the Listening album cover for Little Brother. I think that's what that is.
It could very well be, man. It could very well be true.
He used to do a Rappers I Know.
I thought that's where it started.
So
right?
it only makes sense that he does the Producers I Know.
I would have to go thumb through something real quick, but I remember that being on my mind.
Is that site still up?
I don't even know, man.
Yeah,
they had it on their Bandcamp.
If I can see the artwork,
yeah, you'll know, right?
I'll know right then and there
for sure.
I can't remember the graphic designer name to save my life right now, but I do remember him doing Little Brother's Listening album cover.
Oh, word!
And then he used to do a lot of projects with the Rappers I Know and the Producers I Know.
Yeah, that's probably something that Dart may have been. Like, you know, wherever this goes up, if there's like a comment section, you know what I'm saying?
Correct me. Yeah, like definitely correct me.
Let me know.
That's the thing. One thing with this podcast, I definitely don't want to come off as the expert who know everything. Like, it's room for corrections because I'm here to learn, you know, as well as teach. So definitely correct me. You know what I'm saying? Fact check, do whatever you got to do. Okay, so when I asked you that question a while ago, right? I'm gonna kind of simplify it a little bit. Are you still interested in the placement aspect of production?
It's always an option. I think those things need to happen kind of naturally.
Right.
I put my CD in a lot of people's hands.
Right.
I'm saying CD, so you know it's been a minute.
I got you.
I'm interested in it, but it's not going to be like something I'm really focused on, to be honest with you. I'm very capable of it. I know that like top to bottom I can deliver for artists or group, whatever. But the fact that I'm still like writing at the level I'm writing at, and the fact that I ain't really like feeling weathered and like worn out as an artist, you know, I mean, post-pandemic and all that, like I was really hitting the road a lot before that.
Right.
And, you know, I went to Europe with Cunning Linguists in 2017.
Wow. They're from Atlanta too as well, right?
Yeah, Kentucky and Atlanta. Yeah.
Right.
Deacon, what's up, everybody? You know, Natty and No, all y'all, thank y'all, man. And those are the homies, man. You know, it's funny. The first time I rapped on a drugs beat was one of their songs.
On Cunning Linguists.
Yeah.
I know about them from an artist here that used to live in Atlanta named Jay Bully.
I'm familiar with that name.
Yeah. He did a lot in Atlanta. He went to school down there and everything, and that's when I first heard about Cunning Linguists because he did a lot of work with them.
Word.
Yeah. So,
but to answer your question, man, like I think I'm always gonna make beats, right? And I think the older I get, the more life kind of change. Maybe I'll step into those shoes a little bit more. Right. Just like producing. But for right now...
You still got that fire as an MC.
Yeah, man.
There's still a lot of things you want to say.
Yeah, definitely. And in a lot of ways, things I want to do that people ain't really done. You know what I'm saying? And working with Laz, bro, like, you know... only thing I could really see myself doing in that position would be doing like a solo Laz project, right?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm gonna probably be on there too. You know what I'm saying? Like
sometimes you can't resist.
It's what it speaks to you, man.
Yeah.
And I always my intentions growing up always was to play the back. Like I really wasn't trying to be this rap dude. I was really trying to be. I started DJing at 15.
Yeah.
Started making beats at 15, and I wrote my little raps here and there. I ain't like my voice.
Right.
You
Oh
know
God, man.
Like,
oh God, same story, man.
Yeah, so I was always trying to get more on the boards.
Right.
And that ain't going nowhere. But when I unleashed that whole side of my mind and went right in, and like I'm at the point now where I do a 24 bar verse. The fifth bar, every bar rhymes.
Right.
Everyone rhymes with each other. I don't care. Like you could just change the order up, bro.
Yep.
Like the third one rhymes with the 18th. The fifth one rhymes.
That's a crazy rhyme scheme.
That's
right there.
all I challenge myself that way now, and I've done it so many. I had to go back and realize I've been doing that shit since like 2015.
Right.
Like I had to go back and like, I was really locked in like that, and it makes me feel like it don't even sound forced. It don't sound like you had to probably hear it 3 or 4 times to even be like it ended the way it started. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where I'm at, and I just don't want to let go of that aspect. I don't want to keep challenging myself.
Right.
You know, so that's all, man. But I'm still an introvert, believe it or not. You know what I mean?
And the older you get, the worse it gets, yo.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, man, because you just get to a point where you like, you know what? I ain't at the party right now. I'm good.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting what I need to get done. You know, focus is very important right now because, you know, you just don't have the time that you used to have, you know, as a younger person.
Right.
So every minute got to count.
Yes,
you know what I'm
for sure,
saying?
man.
And the only way to get those things accomplished is sometimes you do got to cut, you know, some of the events out. You do got to cut some of the just being out. Because you got to be locked into your craft, you know.
Yeah.
I hate to keep staying on this thing as a producer, but
it's my favorite chamber.
Yeah,
so
I'm picking your brain right now, like for real. Okay, so you said you wasn't interested. You're really not focused on the placement aspect anymore. But do you agree that there's an advantage now to putting out a beat tape than it was?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
bro. That's where your name really gets solidified to me,
right?
Because I could do a joint for somebody who's like a placement, and somebody might not know who I still might not know I did it.
Right.
Like financially, it might be great.
Financially, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
it could be.
Do you see the financial advantage of it? With it doesn't sound like you use a lot of samples.
I can go either way. You know what I mean?
And even if you do, it's not taking up 85% of the beat.
Not most of the
It's
time.
like real small pieces.
Sometimes I'll make it obvious because I want you to see how I chopped it. You know what I'm saying?
Like you'll play the beginning and then...
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
or you'll know. You know, sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes. But that's for the effect. That's more for like a battle maybe. You know what I'm saying? It ain't my bread and butter. I don't need it. Like I know my scales, you know what I'm saying? I can get busy. I can play some instruments. I got xylophones and
I seen that. I forgot to bring that up. I seen that. I was watching another interview that you did, and I seen you break out the xylophone. Man. My man, the raw airs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to take my little private lessons with. I don't got the big boy like the marimba. Like,
but I get it.
My teacher used to have the 3, and like Wolverine. He used to play chords like that. So just knowing that that's possible, even in my spare time, like I'll do a little brain. Like, this is my thing. I used to write with both hands, right? I write 2 words at the same time. And that just kind of keeps me like
seriously?
Yeah, like I'll just pick 2 words. I'll be like, maybe the same amount of letters.
Okay.
So I might write tree with this hand and soul with this hand. But I just do it. I'll just be like, I think about it. I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing it like, you know, but mentally it ain't even musical, but that split, something about that split, man, you got to be able to like, I drum and I play the drums. You got to be able to. Everything got to be independent. So I just, you know.
So you just listening to your production, it sounds like you really understand mixing.
Oh yeah.
Or do you have an outside engineer? You mix your own stuff. Wow.
Yeah, that's
tough.
Yeah, I read a lot of books straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
The last guest that we had, B Squared. Not sure if you're familiar with him or not, but
shout out to them,
yeah, B Squared, man, like he definitely has been doing a lot of reading to perfect his mixing sound. So and it shows.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So to hear you say the same thing, like
read the manuals to the stuff you get. Stop being hip hop.
Read the manuals.
Don't be too hip hop, man. Don't create all the rules, man.
Because it's just like
learn the rules, break them.
It's just like when you buy a table, man, and you just start putting that joint together, and you find out you missed that one screw.
You're like, man, my mix missed that one screw,
and now the whole table about to fall apart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? Just I was actually watching this video yesterday about the 3000 manual.
Okay.
And I got to read a part. I don't even have a 3000.
MPC?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was Roger Lynn wrote in there like, I want this to be like an instrument. So like a violin is for a violinist, 3000 is for a 3000ist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just with that type of mentality. I don't think he was just saying that to be like cool and market it. I think he really thought. And you know, you can see the Dillas and the Petes and you see how they really freak these things, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, man, like, production is still my favorite thing in the world, man. I can do that on a rainy day. I can do it when I'm stressed out. You know, it just makes, you know, it brings me another level of peace.
Okay. Your weapons of choice?
XL is still my favorite, the 2000 XL.
Okay.
I have a couple little...
You don't have to give away the whole, you know...
Yeah, I got a couple of outboard things I mess with every once in a while, but on a when I'm just trying to get the beat done in like 10 minutes, I use an XL. I will say this, I don't sample in the XL. I sample in my computer, and I'll use Ableton.
Golly, Ableton, man.
And I'll just trigger from the XL, and then I got keyboards or whatever going into the MP. All my MIDI information is still in the MP.
Right.
And I'll just dump it when it's done.
Yo, shout out to all of the Ableton producers.
Yeah.
You guys are a special You guys are mutants.
That's what people say.
Like straight up and down. The learning curve for me,
it was daunting. Man.
Yeah, the learning curve is so crazy on Ableton, but the producers that I know that use it are like really killing it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all of you Ableton producers, man.
Yeah, it's dope because you can use everything. I still use Reason inside of it.
I hear Reason.
Yeah, the sound sometimes.
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear in your production. I'm like, I'm gonna just jump out there and say that he used Reason because it kind of it sounds. You know what I'm saying? I hear something.
Yeah, I was using Reason from like 05 till now. Like I think I started when I was in LA.
Right.
Right before I went to LA. So like 04, 05, it was like Reason 3. And then when I got Ableton, I was like, okay, I'm gonna open it up in there with the Rewire or whatever you want to call it, the external instrument. And what else? I got Contact in there.
Contact is dope. Native Instruments is
Native, man. Yeah.
Dope.
Yo, they came to my house like 3-4 years ago.
The company, Native
the
Instruments?
German dudes. They was in town. And they my homeboy lived in Germany. We got the same birthday. Shout out to my man L. He kind of worked with them out there. So he's like, y'all should go, when y'all go to Atlanta, y'all should highlight my man. So they came through and they kind of picked my brain on hardware stuff.
Is that archive? Can I find it anywhere?
I wonder, bro. It's funny. I never saw a video of it.
Right.
I think they more so was kind of like taking notes. I don't remember a camera being out like that. We took a photo, and I got it on Facebook because my old Instagram is gone. So like,
yeah, man. Like, I know how that is.
Yeah, man. I just found out the way to get it back. You had to like file some type of like lawsuit in California.
That's too much, man.
This dude showed me. This dude who sells a lot of polo. He put a post up about how he got it back.
Right.
And it ain't super crazy. I wish I would have known, basically.
Right.
I would have did. Like, you just write something in, send it to this office in Cali's government office, and you're supposed to get it back in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, Ralph Dandy. I'm dropping names today.
That's all right. That's all right.
His IG is Ralph Dandy. And he, if you like polo, if you just, whatever. He's a good dude. Seemed like a good dude. So, but yeah, man, not to derail too much, but just my production style. I want to get Serato sample. I just want to try it.
I've tried it.
Yeah. Stems and all that. I mean, I
was just about to touch on it, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks for the segue because I was gonna ask you, as a DJ, how do you feel about stems? But let's touch on Serato sampler first. Have you tried it at all?
When my boy Pudge was at my crib not too long ago, I believe he's the one who showed it to me first. Nah, he showed it to me, but he wasn't at my crib then.
Right.
I haven't really messed with it, to be honest with you. I ain't messed with it yet. I know what it's capable of, and there's other softwares that kind of do that.
Yeah.
I think Serato's might be the one with the least artifacts and stuff. Sound the cleanest.
Right.
From what I could tell. Like all my homeboys, like DiBiase, everybody, they swear by it. And I'm
you know like, DiBiase?
Yeah.
The 303 King?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when I lived in California, man, we used to all get up. You know what I'm saying? Like Pudge is like my big brother. And he's from Queens, but we was roommates in LA, and we used to do stuff all the time. Like around the time House Shoes moved out there, we was out there.
So you about to make me segue into like I'm trying not to turn this into a 4-hour interview, but man, you really touching like you're touching on some things, man. That I got questions. First of all, I want to get back on the Serato sampler and the so you haven't used Serato Studio either.
Nah, I haven't really gotten into all that yet.
When you try it, I'm just gonna say this right here. When you try it, be careful, man. Like seriously, be careful because
now that I saw that Pudge messing around with that.
Yeah,
but I think it was right before the stems thing.
The reason I say be careful because it's still new, still in development. It's so user friendly, man. I'm in my bed, bro, with my laptop, like
tapping out.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
you can do.
I'm like, that's crazy. DiBiase. We're not gonna touch on DiBiase too much. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to touch on. I want to ask you, how do you feel about the phrase lo-fi?
I knew it was coming. I mean, when you said the phrase,
yeah. I mean, it's a community now, but how do you feel about that? I wish I would have asked B Squared that too.
Yeah. I mean, what's boom bap to me? You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay. Let me say this right here.
It's almost like turntablism to me. Like people use that term, I'll be like, I'm a DJ fan. We've been doing
we
this.
can really get deep right now.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with boom bap because of where I first heard the term from.
Yeah.
I first heard the term from KRS-One.
Right, straight up.
Return to the boom bap.
Right.
I'm like,
93, right? 92.
If he says it's a thing, you know what I'm saying, then it's a thing.
I will say it seemed like people who don't really
say it.
They ain't really been a part of it long.
Yup.
They don't really know. They just trying to like market or label something that's more like friendly to people who are casual hip hop fans. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I feel. I don't mean no disrespect to people who use the term.
Right.
I'm not. It just seemed like it's such a. If some of the stuff that came out in '94 came out today, they'd be calling it lo-fi. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like beat miners would be considered
lo-fi.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't really like the retelling of history.
Yeah, I don't like I don't like the separation of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like I'm trying to think of another parallel that just it don't grind my gears, but I just be like, man, come on, is it lo-fi? Because people be saying Dilla's lo-fi, and then he'll have stuff that's like super clean.
Right.
But you talking about low fidelity.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it also seems like you can just jump right into it. Like if you don't know how to mix, all your shit lo-fi.
That's what I was about to say.
You know
what? Like, no disrespect to the lo-fi community at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, man. I'll go ahead and take my bullets or whatever, man. But it's like, it seems like it was a term that came out, for cats that like they want to make beats, but they really don't understand all the techniques of making a beat and how to put like a solid beat together. To me, it's just vibes.
Yeah,
it's just really good vibes or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't mad. I mean, if you put static and crackle and stuff on your beat, and all of a sudden you call it lo-fi.
Yeah, man. And that's not, like I said, that's not to discredit a community or anything, but it's like I just don't like the separation of it.
And it's like, people be like, oh, this is study beats, or. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Beats while you sleep.
I be like, yeah, man. All right, bro.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, and we definitely don't have to get deep into this, I want to bring it up because I see it. I see a part of this community trying to keep certain cats out of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I just want to say that I see that. Mm-hmm. Now we can move on. We can move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah. There was a thing in Atlanta that you might know about, Stolen Drums. You know Stolen Drums?
Yes.
So he was doing the Monday night thing for a while, a couple of years, I think, in Atlanta, every Monday, right? At a brewery called Monday Night Brewery. So it was kind of like beautiful. Every Monday night, he'd have different producers come in there. The last one they had before the pandemic, and they had some after the pandemic, but they were kind of smaller. But the last real one was the one when House Shoes came, and it was me, it was Tuami, it was a couple people just doing beats. I don't remember the whole lineup right now, but I've seen people out there with like shirts to say "Lo-fi or nothing." You know what I'm saying?
Lo-fi or die.
Yeah, like
that's what they really wanted to say.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, word? Like, there's so many kinds of hip hop. Let it live. You ain't got to be that or nothing. It just seemed like, I don't know. They haven't even had their moment like that.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if that's a bad or good thing.
That's it right there.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what people still talking about lo-fi. Because people was talking about EDM. People was talking about, there's so many things that kind of came and went. Dubstep. You don't hear about dubstep no more, do you? Like, I'm not in the scene like that.
I'm ahead. I'm ahead. So I see it pop up every now and then.
Word. Okay.
Stolen Drums. I consider him one of the front runners of It's funny because I consider him one of the front runners of what you would call a lo-fi movement.
He's better than that to me.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean?
I was going to say, but I've heard Stolen Drums produce some real songs.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't really put him in that category. I put him in the category of being just a dope producer.
Yeah, and he uses reels.
Yeah.
He uses like vintage equipment.
Yeah.
He got like analogs. Like, is that lo-fi?
That's what I'm saying. I consider him.
You know
it's like even though he's a front runner, even though DiBiase is a front runner, I consider them more
than that.
Than that.
That's how I feel. Yeah, like I don't even know if there's like a lo-fi. This might sound stupid, so excuse me. Is there like a MC who's like the face of lo-fi? Is that how it works?
MC?
Yeah, MC. Like, does he rap over lo-fi beat, or is it not even supposed to be about? That's the thing. Like when you make something that can't be hip hop all the way,
right.
Is it hip hop? Like if I start scratching on a lo-fi beat with a verse, is it now hip? Is it a lo-fi hip hop song?
In my world, in my world now, if there had to be an MC of lo-fi hip hop, it's MF Doom,
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that because they was using 303s for Mav. Like, I can get that. I can get down with that. But then again, he been around forever. Now this is new term.
We know this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you and
like,
I know this. I remember Zev Love, Zev Love X
and
Gas Face.
Yeah,
you
man,
know,
Black Bastards album, man. But like, okay, damn, I kind of lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry,
that.
bro.
No, it's all good. I might circle back to it. It was just another thing that made me think that this lo-fi thing. I don't want to sound like I'm.
No, we're not bashing it. We're not bashing it at all.
I'm
you know, and I take full responsibility for bringing it up, and my opinions on it and everything. Like I just see it for what it is.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
You know how that one meme when that dude was like, Jay Dilla changed my life.
Right.
Who's Slum Village?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
That sounds.
That's it right there.
That sounds like the person who's going around like searching for lo-fi beats to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm sorry if it sounds elitist, but it just gives me that vibe sometimes.
I get even more concrete than that when people expected Lupe Fiasco to be like this huge Tribe fan.
Oh yeah, they kind of like,
saying?
Yeah, they get hit him with that elitist.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it took the wind out of a lot of people when they found out that he was like a Spice One fan and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I love Spice One. I love Tribe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing.
But the game expected him to be a big Tribe fan because he had that feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really what we talking about. I think the expectation, I guess kind of this expectation, man, of people who may not know how deep this hip hop thing go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I like that's a great example, bro. He was like, I grew up listening to Spice One. He said that in his response.
That's real, bro.
Like, I had Dayton Family growing up, bro. Like I had like Too Short. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like Jive had Too Short and Tribe.
Right.
And KRS.
Right.
Like, man, come on, bro. Separating it like that, and it don't really. I ain't really heard nobody that's been rapping 20, 30 years, making beats 20, 30 years, ever say lo-fi. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just ain't really... I don't know where it came from. I think it came from people kind of outside the culture. That's kind of how I feel sometimes. I could be wrong.
Well, this ain't the first time you've seen something like this. One of the first times you might have seen something like this is the term underground.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's real.
All of a sudden, if I'm spitting like real lyrics, I'm an underground rapper.
I'm conscious.
I'm conscious. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's boom. Because remember when Mos Def was on Rap City and they asked him about that conscious shit. And he was like, well, what's the opposite of conscious? Unconscious? Like everybody know what they're doing. Like you know your rhymes. Right. You're conscious. You spit them on a mic. You're conscious.
That's exactly right, bro.
Yeah. So it's just like the connotation involved with it. You know what I mean? I had to block this fool a couple weeks ago because I did a joint that was like kind of bouncy, trappy or whatever, halftime, and he's talking about, and I love everybody, but this is like a white dude. I really I didn't like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that. I didn't like him trying to tell me what's hip hop. I just ain't. I got short temper. Like, and he's cool with people. I just got short temper for shit like that. It's almost like
they try to box you in.
Yeah,
they want you to have one. They love you. It's a moment that they love you for, and they want to keep you in that moment. Yeah,
he was going in, leaving mad comments, and like a couple weeks before, he asking me for beats that he heard from like the other project I dropped. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, dog, you should never feel so comfortable as to tell me what hip hop is, especially when your beats don't sound as good as mine. Yeah. And I'm the humblest man on earth.
Yes, sir.
You try me like that.
Now sometimes, man, like, sometimes you just got to, sometimes you got to let them know.
I was like, fam, please make a beat better than me before you come to me with any opinions. And then I blocked him because he wouldn't shut the hell up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is.
Kill that noise, man. Like, for real. Kill that noise. Kill that noise.
And it just so happens that video for that song got more views than any other joint I ever dropped. That's ironic to me.
Well,
I don't want to keep making music like that.
But
I'm just from the A, and I had a fun time making the joint.
Right.
It felt fun.
Right.
And people, I guess they saw me having fun. They were like, this is dope. Because I got another song called One Deep with a video that's a lot better, but I'm just kind of like, it's schizo beat. Right. I'm spitting hard. Yep. It's, standard rap, lo-fi. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, it got like 9,000 views. And I don't do crazy numbers, but I'm just saying, that's like 9,000. The joint called Black Leather, which is the joint I was talking about.
The bounce joint.
The dude was hating on. Right. 20-something thousand. Right. In a couple days, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was out for like 2 weeks, and it was like, that's good for me. The other joint had been out longer. I think so. But whatever, the time was longer and it only got half the views, basically, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And, you know, I ain't promoted I promoted both. I promoted the song with 9,000 views more.
Right.
So I think the virality of it, maybe it was a moment in time where like, damn, look at Yamin spitting like that. Let me share it with somebody.
Right.
You never know.
Or just
expectation, you know.
It could be just that, you know, you caught some younger fans or whatever.
Could have been,
You know what I'm
that's
saying? Because
wider.
You came into their world.
Yeah, I might have got 10,000 of mine, and
Right.
10,000 new guys,
Right.
and that makes 20. You know what I'm saying?
See, this could be a whole nother conversation now, but I ain't gonna go there. But instead of you know, some people see that and be like, "Oh, that's what it takes. I'm gonna stay right there."
Yeah.
But see, your artistic integrity leads you to keep doing what you love.
Yeah, if I feel like
You know
it
what
again,
I'm
I'll
saying?
do it.
Yeah, if I have a moment like that, I'll do it again.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, me and Schizo, it is Schizo. But on my last album, Phantom Feeling, which is Schizo did, the joint Laz is on, we're doing double time. But
Man,
it don't sound like, but it's still lo-fi. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like,
he killing double time. He be killing that double time, bro. Like,
Yeah.
for real, he kills it.
Yo, he's a nut, bro.
I want to hear that, bro. Like, for real, I definitely want to hear that.
He got the Infinity Gauntlet. He got like double time, half time,
storytelling,
yeah,
man.
Internal rhymes, metaphors, similar. Like he just murked.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna slowly go back a little bit. Let's talk about how you feel about Serato stems.
Okay. I love it, man. Like I think it's what you bring to it. I've heard some horrible blends already, right?
It's like a plethora. It's a plethora of blends, and I know, man.
Not even creative. Like not even like the song type. Like even before that technology was around, right?
Right.
I was doing blends the best way I could. If I could find an acapella, if I had to make it myself,
yeah.
If I had to make, I would put them together, and it would be some type of theme that drew them together.
Right.
They'd be in the same key,
Yep.
or if they weren't, I'd make it the same.
Right.
key.
If it's not the same key, like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Right. You got to know music theory,
right?
At least be able to do it by ear,
right?
You know
right.
But somebody like JC, he'll do that joint, and he'll make something just.
It'll pop.
Wow. And it'll be one of them joints that was sitting right here under your nose. Like, I wish I would have did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it opens up so much creativity. It opens up the lane for so much creativity, but it also kind of gives people tools to kind of that they ain't ready for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Basically. Yeah, it's just more
it's scary to
potential
me
for foolery.
Yeah, yo, man, to me, I don't know whether it's saving music or making it even more accessible than it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because, and then for beat makers who get lazy, they can just jack somebody drum.
Yo, chief.
You know what I mean?
That's when I was like, yo.
Yeah, I'm like,
when I was, and I'm gonna go ahead and put myself out there because I tried it. You know what I'm saying? When I made, I was toying with it one day, and I said, I want the bass line from Black Cop, yo.
Nice.
Simple bass line.
Right.
But I don't feel like playing. I just want to see.
Just to see.
Can I go in there and just jack the bass line from Black Cop? Yo, I was able to do it.
Wow.
It won't clear as a whistle.
What it have in it still?
It was just kind of it was kind of lo-fi. You know what I'm saying? but with everything that you build around it, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It's a bass line, so it's cool that it's kind of, you know what I'm saying, like muffled like that.
Right,
you know
you can filter out,
but you still got that. And I'm like, whoa, man, this is crazy. When you can take Frank Sinatra off his own song, man, and
that's amazing.
It's dope. But like you said, the lazy producer, man, like,
dude, we used to do. I ain't gonna even tell people on this interview how we used to get vocals out of songs. It don't always work, but when it did work, but I'm
gonna try you real quick. Just a yes or no.
Okay.
Stereo track.
Yeah, say less. Yes.
10-4.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there you go. Yep.
Word up. Okay.
That one,
okay.
And before that,
yeah,
I did it with the wires.
I don't know about this.
So your input, on the quarter inches, you got the tip and the ring polarity.
Yep.
So you kinda,
pull it out a little bit.
Yep. Damn. I used to do that.
Because, the reason I knew where you was going, because, if you trying to hook up some stuff and
you hear
your cables are bad, you got to show them your cable.
Yeah.
All you hear is that voice.
I'm going to tell you what song I figured out. I totally figured that out on mistake. It was Double Trouble by the Roots, right?
Okay.
Most Def.
Right.
and they voices are pan.
Okay.
So I think Thought's verse disappeared, and I still heard Mos Def's ad libs over hit or something like that.
That's crazy.
It was really, and the drums was gone.
Right.
So I was like, okay, like what is that? Like,
Right.
And then I recorded it like that, and I was like, let me put another record on and try the same thing. And I just kept doing it. I'd be like, I go back and play joints that I always wanted to sample, and man, like I just it opened up. Like beats I even had made, they sounded better when I ran it through it, or when I ran the sample through it.
Right.
And then I just kind of did a little book reading, like what is this plus minus thing that on the on the wires or whatever, and then it just became like something I just kind of kept to myself.
Okay.
Didn't talk about to nobody, but then I just kind of learned through the book reading about the wires how I can figure it out digitally with the editing or whatever.
Right.
And what you was about to say.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Right. So does stems concern you as a creator? Does it concern you?
I can use it to my advantage for sure.
No, I'm talking about when I say does it concern you, like
like people using my stuff?
Yes, sir.
Man, people don't be stealing my stuff now.
So they already get you down.
They don't really. I've never had nobody take a beat that I put out, an instrument I put out, and use it. I mean, like it's some sort of a compliment if they do.
Right.
But I'm not too much worried about it. I mean, the way things are set up now, there's a date attached to what you drop.
Right.
If I really wanted to like proceed against somebody, even like to call them out, it would be kind of easy, or just to set precedents. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who stole my rhymes before, who's out. They out.
That's crazy.
You can put the song up right now.
Like, it's out, like it's an actual song.
Yeah,
right?
but my point of saying that is that the precedence is there.
Right.
The song came out 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
So your joint came out in 2017, 18. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's documented.
Yeah. So I'm not, in that sense, I'm not tripping. If there was no recourse, like if it was cash stolen out my hand, nobody could prove that. You know what I'm saying? But I can always prove that.
Yeah.
So it's not good.
So this software today has the ability to even change the key.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that makes the creator fight a little bit harder?
How so?
When you change the key or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't it be hard for certain software to track to see if that's your song if it's in a different key?
Well, I've tested.
Okay, go ahead.
Samples that I've used and changed the key.
Yep.
I've ran them through Shazam or something just to see, and it don't seem.
It still recognizes it?
No, not from what I could tell. Not from what I could tell. But at that point, dog, you kind of work for it. Yeah. To me.
Yeah, so it's yours.
It ain't gonna sound like me.
Yo, you a rarity, yo. Like for real.
Like, you did what I did to a certain extent.
Yeah.
As long as you ain't using like something I said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I get like, okay, G, all right. Let me get where I need to be, and if I need to make that official, like if I need to call it out, I will. But
so in a nutshell, you saying I do have permission to like I have permission to use your voice for cuts and scratches, backdrops and all that stuff. Yeah. I just can't bite your rhymes.
That's how that's it. And that sounds like some common fucking sense.
I can't bite your rhymes and use it for a jam. Fair enough.
You can't say lighten up like Sammy Sosa. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You heard me say it. You can't do that. Right. You can't do that.
Right. True indeed.
Let me say the line,
Understood, bro. I got you. I got your boundaries.
When you was on the bus with me and you said you liked that line, you can't do that, bro.
Wow.
You can't do that. That's like what Kanye did to T-Pain with that Winslow line.
Yeah. You're right.
T-Pain was like, Kanye said that was a whack line or something, then he used it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, don't do me like that.
Yo, the game is harsh, man. As an MC, you and Boy Brown, y'all want to tour together. Do y'all have any material together?
You might have to do some Googles. I think we got a song with like Tuami from back in the day.
Okay.
That 7-inch I put out, if you can find it. I did Drunk Around the
You said if you can find it.
Yeah.
So the 7-inch sold like hotcakes now.
Got out of here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I sold some in bulk to some record stores on the West Coast.
Right.
I picked them up.
Right.
And that was mostly on the strength of my man Reed Richards because he's so connected.
Reed Richards?
Yeah.
Is that his artist name?
Yeah, that's his
That's crazy, yo.
That's crazy. I know this man forever. I don't even know his like name.
That's crazy though. That's seriously dope, yo.
Yeah, he's a really dope dude. Vinyl collector, MC, father, photographer. I think he just does a lot of stuff, man. He's a very enterprising man.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? He's really well connected. He knows Coach K because they both from Indiana, and he knows people like Gene Brown. You know what I'm saying? He's just like a really good dude, man. Anytime I'm out that way in the Bay, I gotta holler at him. You know?
I was just about to ask you, since you've been in North Carolina, have you been able to go to one of the Gene Brown experiences? Then I remember I seen you at the one
in Charlotte.
Yes,
I was still in Atlanta. Every one he's done,
because it's so close.
Yeah, I just drive up.
Wow.
I roll up with Ellington, or I'll get a rental or something,
right,
and make it. But now I'm here, bro. So I know he wants to keep doing them in Charlotte. We just had a little dinner the other night, and he was just like, "We're gonna do them in New York and Atlanta, but the hub he wants it just to always be a North Carolina thing."
Right.
And I definitely respect that. And I was already coming here, but it just the way I told you, everything's kind of lining up.
Right.
Like it's really dope, man. We got like a little collective of producers under his guide called Charlotte Webb, CLT Webb.
Right.
It's cats like, me, Ellington, why am I drawing a blank right now? Like B Square, he gets involved.
Right.
Actually, dang, I'm horrible at that sometimes, man.
Is my man Ja Freedom a part of that?
Freedom, like I'm CJ plays. Like I'm just having a little brain fart. Yeah, Ja's the man, bro.
Yeah, man.
CJ is the man. He in East Point working at the studio down there, bandwidth. My DR, you know what I'm saying?
DR from what's that group, man? Group was so dope, man, from Charlotte, man. I can't think of it.
It's on the tip of my tongue, too.
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart right now. But him and Maverick was a part of that group. Yo, Maverick is sick, yo.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, man. So it's just good to have. I like the community here. Atlanta does not have such a demand for what we do. It's not even like superly there like that.
Right.
It's a good balance here of people who love it and people who do it. In Atlanta, there's people who do it a little bit and not a lot of people who really love it.
Right.
And you just, people come there for the club environment. They come there for the strip clubs. They come there for
the trap museum,
For the trap museum, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and slutty vegan, bro.
Yeah. And like, if you listen to Outkast, you like an old head.
Really?
It ain't like that no more, bro.
Wow, man.
It ain't. I mean, I hate to just. Of course, the thing I'm saying is not to cast no aspersions on cast.
Right.
It's just the
type of
environment.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just is what it is, bro. Like,
it's a real. I will say this though. The one thing I do appreciate about Atlanta, like you say that as far as the music, right? But one thing about Atlanta is it's really art. It's art down there. It's art, man. Like even the trap rappers have like an artistic like presence. You okay? Like
I ain't saying no.
I can't call. I mean, I'm going off of what I see in short period.
Tell me
you
what
actually stay there.
Tell me what you think about the art. Like, what would you say made you come to that?
The trap museum really blew my mind, man.
I ain't been, so I can't even.
I've been.
You been?
I've been. I wanted to take my kids because my kids
they like that stuff.
Little Baby fans, and I wanted to go too, but they really wanted to go, and I'm like, well, let's just go in there. Something happened, and,
But that tells you everything.
Yeah,
your kids want to go.
They wanted to go.
Your children, you know what I'm saying? The younger folk. You know
but I'm going in there, and it's cats my age or older in there.
I bet.
And
I bet that. Yeah.
And I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, man. You know what I'm saying? But I go in there and they make trap. They somehow, man. Somehow they make the street elements and project elements. They turn it into art. Like you go in.
But that's us anyway.
It is us, man. But when you go in and you see the couch with the plastic on it. I remember that.
You remember that too?
My kids has never seen that. My kids' grandmothers do not have plastic on the couch.
Yeah.
But mine did.
That's an era. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They see the Kool-Aid. They see the Pyrex.
Oh, okay. They got like a stove installation.
They got the stove in there. You know what I'm saying? They got bricks in there. You know, and I'm telling my kids that because they're like, yo, Dad, what's this?
They don't even.
That mean I did my job, yo.
That's true.
That mean I did my job. But they're like, yo, Dad, what's this? And I gotta break it down. Like, look, this is what your guy be talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. It's like them candy cigarettes. Like they stopped selling them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
I used to
kind of
love those candy cigarettes.
You know what I mean?
I never smoked, but I used to love those candy cigarettes.
It's the same thing to me because kids don't really know the effects of smoking.
Right.
But if you glamorize any element of a negative thing for children, they gonna love it, bro.
Yeah, man, because they had jail cells. And right now I'm naming all of this wrong stuff. No, it was
in there. In the museum?
It was in the museum, but then they also had a room where it was dedicated to female MCs. Mm-hmm. When I said female MCs, now I'm talking about Roxanne Shante, Salt and Pepper.
Word.
You know, they brought it. They made sure to bring it back to the elements. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Then they had another section where it was Trina, Lotto, our City Girls, all that stuff. Yeah. They had 2 Chainz Pink Cadillac in there.
I remember that
from the.
Yeah, my art teacher in high school actually designed that house.
Right,
he built sets for like a lot of
Yeah, man, they had a Nipsey one, a Nipsey Hussle corner. Mm-hmm. Man, it was really like I said, they turned it into art.
I can dig that.
You know what I'm saying? You know, instead of just being some old like tacky, hooded out stuff, man. Yeah. Like they really made it. They made it classic, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think they was glorifying it, but they was really showing. From the bottom to the top, the way they kind of had it laid out, and I thought that was real. I thought it was dope, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. You know, but my kids, man, they like that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, but they really he didn't know what a brick was, and I was happy. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
You know,
I look at it like anything else, man. Like I hate to compare cultures, man. I really don't get into that game.
Yeah,
but. I remember talking to an Italian older man one time, and somehow we ended up talking about gangster movies.
Okay.
He hates them shits, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like Scarface, Godfather, and stuff like that.
He hates that shit.
Okay.
Man, because he's like, yo,
stereotype.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I never even thought that there was a group of Italian people who probably hate that. I never even thought about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely stereotype.
You know what I mean? Like certain stuff, like, and it doesn't really work in our benefit because of the prison industrial complex. And, but it is to each their own, man. I think it's like low hanging fruit a lot of the time to do the same something that somebody else did, especially if it's like that type of shit. You know, because it's hard to recreate high quality bars.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to just pick up a graffiti, a spray can and do something ill.
Yeah.
It take time, you know what I'm saying? It take time, practice, patience, failure. And people want overnight success, man. So if you don't really love this shit, you probably gonna make a trap song. You probably gonna talk about fucking somebody girl. You probably gonna, it's just certain stuff I just be like, okay, you did that. You didn't have to, but you did what you did. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. More power to you if it work out. But I don't know. I guess I'm getting older too.
Yeah, but
I see my little cousins, and I'd be like, man, they.
Well, I mean, it's like this: when that's all you hear, when that's all that gets out to the masses,
right?
It's it's a problem.
It wasn't always like that either.
It wasn't. Man.
I remember being in middle school, 6th grade,
right?
Something in that area. I remember being on a school bus, but I used to have my little headphones with the radio, and I might hear running. Come on,
right?
On like daytime radio.
Yep.
And then you hear some Scarface.
Yep.
Then you might hear some Lil Jon. You know what I'm saying? You got the options were set before you. Like you could do this. That's how we looked at it as kids. Like what was been done before us, we might choose this path.
Right.
And I seen kids like my boys Illmont. There was a group that reminded me of kind of like Wu-Tang in Atlanta. Like 7, 8 of them cats. Couple producers. They broke up eventually.
What was the name of our crew?
Illmont.
Illmont. Okay.
ILLMONT.
Right.
A lot of them I'm still in touch with today. They probably almost 10 years younger than me though, right?
Right.
But they grew up listening to Gucci, but they had bars.
Right.
And then they ciphered, it would sound like Coast Contra or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They was busting. But they, on their spare time, they playing like, Welcome to the Trap or, so it's like certain people, they have to have certain stuff just know it's there.
Right.
And then it ain't got to be a 50-50 decision or like you pick this, you pick that. all or nothing decision rather. But people when they know what a high standard is, when they know the ceiling is that can go that high, they'll jump higher. It's like a goldfish. Goldfish only grow to the size of the aquarium. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be like, before you get too old and you solidify into what you're gonna be forever. When you're younger, that's why little kids can learn 5 languages,
right?
Because they still soaking everything,
right?
And they can play piano faster than an adult. They learn this, they learn faster than us. You know what I'm saying? So when all they hear is one thing, rapidly learning one thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's why, man. The charity starts at home, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up and down. How much time we're looking at? Because I got one more question for him. Okay. So as a DJ, right?
Yeah.
Especially a DJ in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because I went to Atlanta to DJ. You know what I'm saying? And do you have the ability to separate the DJ from the artist? And when I say that, do you have the ability to play what they want to hear versus playing what you want to hear?
I did it for a little while. And then I said, I ain't doing this no more.
It was taking the life out of you?
It was taking the life out of me. And then I was like, man, after a while, I was like, I don't have to. I don't want to, so I don't have to. But I did it for a short period of time.
I could understand it because it's like, when I did go down to Atlanta to DJ, I had a ball. I had a great time. I don't want to do this all the time, though.
Yeah, I mean, I seen some of my homies that they was doing like DiBiase, the DJ DiBiase from Atlanta,
right? Who
was Big Crit's DJ.
Okay,
good homie of mine. He doing like chef now. He a chef.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? My homie DJ Kerosene, he used to be on the block with DiBiase on Peter Street, where we used to be on by City of Ink. I used to bartend and wait tables at this spot called Slice. Okay, and they both was spinning there, and they know me. Ain't nobody else in there they can really talk to, but they're like, man, I'm tired of playing this shit. They confide in me, like, I'm tired of playing this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Or not so much DiBiase. I will say me and Kerosene be having them kind of conversations. And, he took time off from that. If you have a sensibility about a certain kind of hip-hop from our past or whatever, you ain't going to always want to do that forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people are good at it. Like, even like Spearhead X, he produced on Stakes is High. He's well-known DJ. He was a strip club DJ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He tries everything out.
He has a job,
yeah. But he ain't doing that now. You know what I'm saying? Like, people go in, they get out, and I understand that. I just after a while I was like, man, I could be home making a beat, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, after a while, I ain't got to deal with these people coming to me asking me to play certain stuff
that was just on the radio on their way here.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
But as a good DJ is supposed to serve you kind of what you want. Yeah. So that's why I humbly got kind of out of the game. Yeah. Because I was like, I ain't gonna be the mad DJ. Yeah. You know right. That ain't, I'd rather be where I can be happy doing this and finding my purpose and what I want to do.
I mean, it taught me though. It taught me the appeal.
Yeah,
of certain records.
Because certain records sound cool in the club.
Yeah, it sound great. I'm like, yo, okay, I get it now. I understand now. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get it, but I didn't want it to spill over into my artistic, me making joints like that now.
Yeah, you listen to somebody like Dilla, bro. He was talking about being at the strip club.
Yo, he made fuck the police, bro.
You know what I'm saying? We're rocking Gators to the Grammys. Yep. Like, don't think it's some peace and flowers. Right. But the sound, bro, we gotta respect the aesthetic. Yeah. You know what annoys me? I know we about to end.
I know we good.
But one thing that kind of just annoys me is when I hear like the whole song. The whole song. I'm like, yo, how can you listen to this?
Yo, shout out to my man Brian Kidd, man. He always pick at me because
what's up, Big
because Kid? I give him hell about trap hats and whatnot.
Oh my god, bro! I think it's kind of cool that they started pitching them down and doing 64.
They do now.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah. But when it was that one period before they learned how to turn up the resolution on that joint, I'm like, yo, man, please, just put a pause in there real quick.
Trap hats.
Yeah, dog, please, man. And it'd be loud and it just drove me crazy, bro. I was like, man, I gotta do a sound bath. I gotta.
Yeah, he used to get on me, man. He used to be like, yo, if I got trap hats, I don't want to hear it.
Yo, that's funny.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? No, let me stop. But, nah, man.
I'm just human, man. I got my ticks, and
absolutely.
I don't be trying to shut nobody down for what they like. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it just seems like people who like certain other shit, they don't have the same voice a lot of the time.
True indeed.
So I'm really happy I'm in North Carolina where the biggest producer is a boom bap dude. Ninth, you know what I'm saying? Like Crisis, these brothers are doing major moves and not changing up, and I need to be around that energy. If it means leaving Georgia or wherever, bro. I just was like, let's do it.
Yeah, man. One thing Crisis said, he said instead of beat battle, he said, look, he said, He said I'm paraphrasing right now, but he said this sound will never die.
Word.
And it won't. It won't ever die.
And in Atlanta, dog, at least to me,
right?
It feel gone. It feel dead, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was something I couldn't see going into my 40s, like just being out there like that. Like, and he's right.
Yeah.
But it's just that little inside that 285, bro. I was just like, it ain't really there, bro. Yeah. I know better. You know what I'm saying?
You know, majority of people gonna follow the wave. So
right.
It's not the wave right now.
For sure.
But it'll be the wave again.
But another thing about Atlanta too, even when I did get attention for my stuff, people would usually come up to me and be like, man, I'm so glad you're not doing that shit. I don't like any negative popularity. That's negative to me. Right. Saying that I like that you don't do this. Yeah. Just like what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I kind of didn't like that either. I didn't want to be the poster child for this anti-movement either. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, more so just like, let's flow positively in this direction. I never make songs dissing nobody. Then who does that? It's just whack. I can stand on my own. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that'd be a lot of interviews I do. Like, I appreciate this interview. But some of the guys in Atlanta, you know, who I might interview with, they don't know hip-hop that like we know it. Right. And they might just, everything is slanted towards, well, how would you feel about getting on a trap beat? Like, it's always, they always trying to put that.
I ain't gonna do that to you, bro. I would never do that to you. I never do that to you.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So, you know.
So, okay. So, real quick, should there be anything that we should be on the lookout for from you as far as producer, artist, or anything?
Yeah. Well, Instagram is Yamin all day. YAMINALLDAY. I'm working with Laz real tight. We got joints with drugs. Got joints with Schizo. Got joints by me. Got joints by Laz. And it's all in how we put it together from there. I'm down to work with whoever up here because it's new territory. But me and him just, you know, even when I wasn't living here, we talk on the phone like every day, like 2 hours. Word up. So that's my dog. So we're going to be creating.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to hear that. Laz, we still got to get one in, dog. Yeah. His birthday the next day after mine, man. That's how we all... Is his the third? I thought his was the second.
His the second. So
mine's the first.
Oh, I got you said before. Yeah, okay, word. Coming up soon.
Yeah, mine's the first. His the second. We always get on each other about that and whatnot, yo. Word. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday, bro. You know how we do. Yeah. But all right, so Yamin, man, it's been great chopping it up with you.
Likewise, man.
Welcome to NC.
Thank you,
know what I'm saying? You just made us an even stronger, you know, musical conglomerate and whatnot. Word, you know, and
I'm here,
I definitely look forward to building with you some more. I definitely look forward to hearing some more.
Oh yeah.
And this interview, man, has been good for my soul. It's not only been educational, but it's definitely been inspiring.
Likewise.
Shout out to my man Finster for giving me the opportunity and the platform.
Thank you.
Hip Hop Beats and Things, episode 2. I'm K Hill. Until we meet again.